does the Democratic Party in our state have any strategy on how to combat what is going on? People just totally unaware of what is really being done to them, and getting the real answers out. And like you mentioned, Jonah, the lack of media coverage. And in that respect, I don't know how many people in this state get in-depth news, because they do a fine job covering things in Concord and so forth.
And it's free. So
yes.
That helps. A lot of them are behind a paywall.
Right. So, those are things that whirl around in my head, but I just feel like there's got to be something to combat this free stater libertarian scene we have going. And
I think you're absolutely right. Do the Democrats have strategy? I'm going to answer that question by saying,
be honest now.
You're just trying to get me in trouble. So, we have a Democratic caucus that is made up of professionals from every level and walk of society. People who are poor and indigent, people who have to build decks on the side, people who work restaurants on the side, to professors who talk too long on the House floor, and people who are in lawyers, and all of these different professionals and people who, if organized, if brought together in spaces where that was the priority, how do we strategize, how do we move forward, what are we going to do together, then I think that we would walk out of that room ready to go, riled up, fired up, ready for the fight. But to emphasize that point, it's what Peter says all the time, and I'll let him go into it, but there were leaders like Terry Norelli who fostered and embraced the caucus, who said, I see a star in you. I see a potential star in you. Let me bring you to the House floor, show you how to give a speech, talk to the other side. Let me show you the process. Let me embrace you as a member, to give you the agency to be able to go back out to your community, to deal with state agencies, to deal with the executive branch, to be a legislator. And I think what Peter's saying, and being honest, is right now that doesn't exist in our caucus or the Republican caucus. And in many ways it is atrophying the legislature into death. And Peter and I, if we are so lucky to be reelected next year, are going to be working extraordinarily hard, especially if we have a Democratic majority, to make it so that we have a leadership team which embraces the caucus and makes sure that exactly that happens. But I do want to give them credit. I think Democrats right now are realizing that they've let online spaces basically be given entirely to the Republicans. Twitter is a space entirely made up of Republican thought space, and if a Democrat tries to post there at this point, I don't think it would even be worth the while. But Facebook and Instagram and all of these other places, even TikTok, where young people and people who don't often pay attention to politics are being posted on in a lot of ways. And you have this, well, it might not be from the top down, you have this organic rumbling of people who call themselves NH Talk, who are out there building a space of media, independent media, to get people to focus on it. So what I would say is that strategy is being built by the diaspora of people that we have who believe that this state should be saved. And I'll end by saying I hope all of you go to look at the St. Anselm's latest, I haven't had water in a long time, so I'm a little dry mouth here, but St. Anselm's latest poll, which had some worrying results for governor and some other things, showed that the overwhelming majority, I don't want to get it wrong by saying the wrong number, but I just saw it was overwhelming majority of people, when asked their opinion on the Free State, say that they have a negative or somewhat negative opinion of the project. So the work that has been done over the course of the last 4 years-ish to really hone in, focus, and show people what the hyper-libertarian side of politics is doing to our state and its legislature is working. And that gives me hope for where we go moving forward. And if the top-down, if Ray Buckley isn't going to do it, if our caucus leader isn't going to do it, then we will. And I think that's what's happening on NH Talk and the others, and it is evidenced by Bobby Boudman's win in Wolfboro, a district where I think it was plus 16 in the last election, where Glenn Bordelli, the germinator in a lot of ways of the education freedom account, lost the district to a Democrat, Bobby Boudman, by 2 points in the special election just a month ago. She was sworn in today. So this is happening, and I think that there is a point of optimism to be given.
Not to get in trouble. But,
Yeah.
So I've been there probably long enough to see really good leaders within our caucus and really bad leaders. I was there for the first time the Democrats took control of the House when Carrie Norelli was elected Speaker. She brought everybody in. Didn't matter what town you were from or what specialty you had. She found a place and everybody was pretty happy. And she mixed up the House seating. So you sat next to a Republican maybe on one side and the 2 Republicans on the other side and a Democrat next to them. And it worked to take the temperature down. And after she served 2 terms, Bill O'Brien, I hate to admit again, my first cousin, was elected Speaker. And he ran that place like the Gestapo. We had about, I think, 104 Democrats. We were like just scream. But Norelli was our leader, and she was able to work the aisles, work the public. She even came to Peterborough several times, and she's from Portsmouth, to help elect Democrats. And the Democrats took back the House the following term, and she was elected Speaker again for the 3rd time. That's the type of leadership we had, but we don't have now. There's a punishment, if you will, if people don't exactly agree with you in our caucus, they are punished. And I've seen so many people in the last couple of weeks announce that they're not coming back because they're just tired. So, and that's hard because we're losing some very, very capable people. Some of the most ethical people I know on finance. Kate Murray from Newcastle's had enough. And it's people like that that we're losing, and I'm fearful that we're not going to find replacements for the people that we're losing. Not to be negative, but as I said earlier, we've got to get people out in these other towns and get people out to vote, because I think most people are centralists. They're not way over to the right, they're not way over to the left, but they're centralists, but they need to come out and vote. Votes do matter. We've had several votes this year on the House floor where the Speaker had to break the tie.
Yeah,
So
in a
that
40-seat majority for the Republicans, we had tie votes. Votes matter. They really, really do.
And our membership, a number of our Democrats don't show up. We often have as many as 20 to 30 that don't show up because they weren't told that they had to be there every Thursday or they had committee assignments. So that's been a problem. It was a problem 2 years ago when we were very close to the majority and we lost votes in like the education freedom account by 1 vote because we didn't have Democrats there to vote. So it's important, if you elect someone, you need to check that they'll be there, because that's really number 1 point. You've got to be there.